Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and there are a ton of Modern Horizons spoilers out today. A lot of them came in super late yesterday as well. So I'm going to be burning through these quick. First, we've got the worst quality picture I've seen so far of Hogaak, or Hogaak, I don't know, Arisen Necropolis. It's a 7 cost with hybrid, 8/8, which is already pretty decent, but there are some fun little things added to this. So first, you can't spend mana to cast this spell at all. That is hilarious. And then it has Convoke and Delve. Convoke is tap any creature you control for 1, and then Delve is ditch a card out of your graveyard to pay 1. Delve can only cover the generic cost, whereas Convoke can cover the colored part, but the creature doing the convoking, like tapping for the payment, you can only generate mana associated with the color identity of that card. So you're going to need at least 2 either black or green or mixed creatures in play, and then 5 from either more creatures or your graveyard. Not too easy, but honestly not too hard. And then also you may play Hogaak Arisen Necropolis from your graveyard. Hello. And then it also has Trample and it's an 8/8. I love this card because it's such a ridiculous hoop to jump through. It can't protect itself at all, but it's so overwhelmingly powerful, and it can come back, but not as easily as some horribly broken cards in the past like Scarab God. So yeah, I love it. Next up, we've got Answered Prayers. It's an enchantment. It costs 3 with double white. Whenever a creature enters battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. If Answered Prayers isn't a creature, it becomes a 3/3 angeled creature with flying in addition to other types until end of turn. So that's kind of neat. I mean, yeah, it's a 3/3 flyer, but you might lose it. Like, it might get destroyed and then you lose the enchantment too, when we all know that, like, a Johnny's Presence does this for 1, but without the angel. So I don't know. In draft it would probably be decent, but I don't know. Next up, Llanowar Tribe, because Llanowar Elves wasn't enough. And legit, it's 3 of them in the art. It costs 3. It's a 3/3 and you tap to add 3. It's literally just 3 Llanowar Elves. This has got to be a reference to the card 8 Bears. So the cost is wrong. It should be a 16/16, but other than that, it was one of the most legendary posts in the history of the Magic subreddit. So yeah, this is quite honestly just absurd. I mean, if you need to ramp mana, you need to do it early. Once again, this would be amazing in draft. Modern, perhaps you've heard of this wonderful card called Lightning Bolt. Yeah, but it's funny. I can appreciate that they did this. Next up, it's Pashilic Mons. It's in English, though, apparently. It's another goblin legendary creature, 2/2 for 3, and whenever this or another goblin you control dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. Very nice. And then on top of it, pay 4, sack a goblin, and then create 2 goblins out of it. Holy crap. This is annoying because when goblins get shut down, it's usually because they can't swing, because there's like multiple large threats that they can't get past. Well, this solves that in 2 different ways, by sacking 1 and making 2. Yeah, this is a little much, to be perfectly honest. But adding this to your goblin deck does create a 2/2 that costs 3, which isn't good. You're slowing it down in order to do this. In fact, you're slowing the whole deck down because that ability costs 4. So at that point, it's not really all-out blitz, but would I put it in a Goblin Commander deck? Oh, absolutely. Next up, very interesting card. Amazing artwork, by the way. I love that. I need that in foil. I need that in my life. Snow Enchantment, by the way. It's an aura, and it's a 1-cost white rare, so you know this is going to be good. I still haven't read it yet. Okay, here we go. Enchant snow land you control. I already hate it. When On Thin Ice enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until On Thin Ice leaves the battlefield. So they'd have to blow up the land or blow up the enchantment. That's pretty clever. The problem is, it doesn't make the land tap for anything, doesn't do color fixing. I mean, for 1, okay, how much could you really want? It's a 1-cost exiler. And the downside of it, because that's insane, obviously, is that it requires you to run a snowland, which might be a little difficult in draft. So, I mean, in a snow deck, this would be excellent. In draft, it would be terrible. And in a non-snow deck, this is pointless, useless, and unplayable. So I don't really know what to think of this. Next up, a card from Urza's Legacy, Unearth. Absolutely famous card. Return, for 1, by the way. 1 black is a sorcery. Return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, cycling 2. This is how you return something from the battlefield. You put a very reasonable limit on it. You don't just say, pay 5, screw it, and oh, look, Emrakul. Okay, I've played that before. I called it El Zombies. It was hilarious, and I won a bunch of games with it. Self-mill to graveyard resing is one of the most annoying decks that I've come across in all my time playing Magic. It's so unfair and stupid and unreliable. It's not even a good deck. It's not fun to play against. And 1 graveyard clear just shuts it down. So It's just all around not a good, friendly, or fun deck. But this you put in a zombie deck. And then if you don't have anything good in the graveyard, you cycle this card for something better. This is how you do graveyard returning. Put a limit on it, make it cheap, and add a backup plan. There you go, done. Next up, Dead of Winter. It's a rare 3-cost black sorcery, single black though, and all non-snow creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the number of snow permanents you control. Holy crap, this is probably the most powerful snow card I've ever seen. A completely, let's be honest, asymmetric board wipe if this was a constructed deck we're talking about. In draft, this is rough, to put it mildly. But yeah, in a full-blown snow deck, just blow up all of your opponent's creatures. You'd probably -10 them. I mean, this is insane. It's the number of snow permanents you control that it's based on. So an X spell that doesn't affect anything in your deck wipes the board, costs 3, and has X in the mechanic but not in the cost. I mean, that's absolutely insane. This right here might single-handedly make Snow an actual deck in Modern, because up until now I didn't see anything good enough. Next up, Endling. It's a 3/3 for 4 and has so much text on it I have to actually zoom in. What the hell? Okay. Creature zombie shapeshifter. Oh, fun. Here we go. It's actually not a changeling. Okay. And then, okay, you can pay 1. Endling gains menace until end of turn. Pay 1. It gains death touch until end of turn. Oh, I get where they're going at with this. Pay 1. It gains undying until end of turn. Oh, here we go. My favorite effect. When this creature dies, if it has no 1/1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a 1/1 counter on it. At a first glance, I thought they actually did it, but no, it's pay 1 of any color. It gets +1, -1, or -1, +1 until end of turn. So, what is that? That's like a old school is it effect or something. But yeah, I thought it said pay 1 and add a -1/-1 or +1/+1 counter to it. Yeah, that would be pretty messed up. It's got the wacky pump ability. It's got menace, death touch, or undying. Instant speed on all 3. I mean, yeah, this thing, I would put this in any zombie deck. This thing is super badass. Now, it is 4 though, so, but it's worth it. Next up, what is going on with this artwork? It's Throes of Chaos, and it's like raining meteors from the sky. There's something going on with feathers behind them, and then they're all hanging on like they just crashed a boat. Actually, let me revise that. Person in the back is like, oh my gosh, I'm about to crash this boat. Person directly under is like, oh crap, we're about to crash the boat, and the other 2 people are completely oblivious. So this broken disgrace of a card is a 4-cost sorcery, and it has Cascade. So when you cast this spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. Put the exiled cards on the bottom of your library in a random order. Cascade has already been banned from Modern. That's all you need to know about that mechanic. So now they thought, it'd be smart because that deck was so broken we had to ban multiple cards from it. Let's bring it back. Let's try to bring that mechanic back. Let's revive that deck. What the hell were you thinking, Wizards? But wait, there's more. Retrace. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a land card in addition to paying its other costs. So you don't even have to exile it. So you can just cast this over and over and over and over and over. So this does next to nothing. The spell literally does nothing, like at all. It has no effect. It just has Cascade and Retrace. You just cast it, nothing happens, and then you do the Cascade trigger. But at a higher level, this spell effectively does nothing, remains doing nothing, if other spells in your deck do not have Cascade. And then you just hope it's like, it goes from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, which it never does. But if you get multiple triggers off it, you're like, here's 4 spells, and 3 of them were free. That's why Cascade is so broken. Plus, it's all luck, 0 skill. It's one of the worst mechanics in the entire game, ever designed in 25 years. And because they knew it was such stupid broken crap, they only put it on 10, 15 cards, something like that. But remember, the first sliver gives all slivers Cascade. Yep. So you cast a sliver for 5, and then you go through your deck until you find one that's 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let's say you hit one that's 3. That's the first one that comes up. Cool. Now you go through your deck again until you hit one that's 2 or 1. Let's say you hit a 2. Okay, now you go through your deck until you find the next card that costs 1. It could even be a 1 of. So let's say you paid 5 mana for your 5 CMC sliver. Okay, you got 4 slivers out of that. All of them with potentially an ETB effect and potentially a boost that they give to each other. So basically, if they cast 1 sliver, you already lost the game because they all have Hexproof, Death Touch, Menace, and Lifelink. I don't know. I feel like a 1 and 2 CMC sliver wouldn't have that ability, but you get my idea. It gets out of control really damn quick. That's why the first sliver is the worst card in this entire set. It's one of the worst cards I've ever seen in the entire history of the game. And unsurprisingly, it gets Cascade, which is one of the worst mechanics I've ever seen in the history of the game. Cascade is a 7 on the Storm scale, by the way. Oh, and by the way, the 3 times that Mark had re-rated it, it was 3 because Mark's an idiot, and then 7, 7, and 7. So early on, he still stood by that Cascade was a good effect. It was very beneficial and almost definitely going to come back soon in the game. Screw you, Mark, and screw this bullshit card. Next up, we've got Future Sight, which is the name of a set. Oh my god, triple blue 2 generic. Let me guess, it takes an extra turn. Oh no, it's an enchantment. Okay, I take that back. Let's see. So 5 cost enchantment, triple blue. It's probably gonna be something good if it's rare. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play the top card of your library. Okay, I've seen that effect. You can do it for cheaper in green. I mean, they put restrictions on it usually, but yeah, there's more than one card that does this. It's kind of neat. Whenever this is out, do not play lands until the absolute latest second you can, because then if you hit a, roadblock of a land on top of your library, oh, now I can play it. It's a land. It says play, not cast. So then you play the land, get out of the way, and keep going. I mean, yeah, with this card, you can do some crazy degenerate crap, but, I mean, it has its limits, so, it costs 5, triple blue, whatever. Next up, we've got, okay, can we stop with these foreign spoilers? You're an English company. Your products are English. Most of your customers are English. Literally nobody's patting you on the back saying, oh, look how woke and diverse you are for including other people and yay, inclusiveness and representation. It's just free international marketing bullshit. I sent this to like some Korean dude or whatever on Twitch, because then he'll show it and be like, oh, look, I'm so honored. And then, oh, like couple hundred, couple thousand, whatever, people see it, and then free advertising. This whole entire thing about community spoilers is just a scam, basically. So anyway, this is allegedly Mist Clan Naga. That's, by the way, not at all what a Naga looks like. I read that as ninja the first time, and apparently I wasn't that far off because it's a ninja Naga. And it has ninjutsu too, plus 1. Why is that backwards? So you pay the ninjutsu cost, return an unblocked. Whoops, missed that the first time because I never played back then and Kamigawa was a joke. Attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. Yeah, you're never going to be unblocked. It's a dumb ability. But wait, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Mist Clan Naga. Ooh, that's pretty tasty. So theoretically, if you light off the ninjutsu ability, then you're going to hit. So you're going to get 2 of these bare minimum, and now they have to deal with 2 when they couldn't or didn't block 1 the first time. So yeah, you could run away with a game with this. I mean, watch out for board wipes. I don't think this is still like a particularly good card, but it's interesting. It is 3-1 for 3 though, which is pretty damn good for blue. The problem is it's like, okay, an unblockable creature. Well, now you ninjutsu this in, and now this isn't unblockable. So good luck with that. Or you do a flyer. Well, the flyer got through because it's flying. Well, now you've got this, which is on the ground. I mean, let's be honest, ninjutsu is just dumb. No wonder people didn't buy that set. Next up, Scale Guardian. It's a 7 cost dragon. And yeah, 4/4 for 7's a little overpriced, but wait! The spell costs 1 less to cast for each land card in your graveyard. Thank God it's not instants and sorceries again. And then it has flying and haste. So, not bad. You could cast this for 2 and just run them over. Actually, run them over is trample. Fly over them. Next up, Ruination Rider. Hey, I wonder if that's a Gruul card. It's a 2/2 for 2 human berserker. Nice. When it dies, you may have it deal damage to any target equal to the number of land cards in your graveyard. Well, I mean, 2 cost, I mean, if it's early game, it's probably not a whole lot. Modern games don't go on that long. So this isn't great, but it does like encourage them to kill it early, I guess, which might leave something better on the field. I don't know, probably not. Next up, oh, here we go. It's Geist der Zwischenwelt. Zweiken, I don't know. Germany, just why? Can you just stop with that? We all know, we figured it out, we've blown your cover. Your entire language is actually just a practical joke on the entire rest of the world. It's just a prank, bro. Anyway, Geist der Zwischenwelt, or as I like to call it, whoops, wrong tab's open, Nether Spirit. It's a double black, single white spirit creature, and it's 2/2. Does not have flying though, but at the beginning of your upkeep, if Nether Spirit is the only creature card in your graveyard, you may return it to the battlefield. This is just garbage. I can't even think of an upside. This is just stupid. I mean, I'd say you got the beginning of infinite combo, but it says at the beginning of your upkeep, so you can only do it once per turn. So This is just absolutely bad. Next up, we got Astrolabio di Arkham. Finally, Italian. So I believe this is an artifact that spits out spaghetti. If anybody touches my spaghetti, there will be blood. So the mana cost on this is 1 snowflake. So I guess if you're at a Star City Games event, you just call over one of their judges and say, hey, can you pay for this for me? I'm still failing to understand this due to a complete lack of giving a shit. I guess like it says the snowflake thing can be paid with 1 mana from a snow permanent, but they're lying. It has to still actually be mana. So it sounds like you could convoke it with a snow permanent, just tap any snow permanent. But people in my comment section said, no, that's not how it works. It has to be mana generated from a snow land or mana generated from a mana ability of a snow permanent. So who gives a shit? I'll take your word for it. This is such a dumb mechanic. So anyway, it's a snow artifact or artefato neve. So when allegedly this is Arkham's astrolabe, I assume they mean astrolab. I don't know what a labe is. Is that like a lathe? Anyway, Superman Secret Hideaway here says when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So that's cool. I mean, especially at that low of a cost. And then you can pay 1, tap it, and throw 1 bunga party. Boy, these jokes that are relevant to like 2% of my fan base here. But anyway, yeah, this is a filter, and it sucks. It's trash. Don't play it. Next up, we got Golem. Silent H in the middle of a word. That's a new one for me. So is it Peye Hoelado? That doesn't sound right. You know what? It's Frost Skin Golem. And it costs 1 snowflake. Once again, it's a snow artifact creature golem. Oh, good. And it's a 2/2. I mean, that's actually pretty good, but it's still dumb as hell. And for the flavor text, I feel like I'm getting this wrong, but literally, as far as I can tell, it means in the coldest of climates, the ice is the most obedient of the rock. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Now that I say it out loud. I mean, ice isn't a rock. It's a crystal. Moving on, we've got Crashing Footfalls. It's a sorcery. It doesn't cost anything because it's another stupid suspend card. God, I hate that. This spell has a CMC of 0 effectively, and that is so broken when it mixes with other cards and other effects. And you know that this doesn't cost 0. You know that you get a 4/4 rhino out of it. All right, that's not a 0 cost spell, but it gets treated like a 0 cost spell that ignores suspend if you like somehow free cast it or whatever. A bunch of crap from the energy set has, you know, oh, cast something with a CMC this or lower for free, and then you get like some bullshit like this out. I can't believe that they printed more of these. And plus, suspend 4 for 1? Ooh, so you wait 4 turns and then get a 4/4. Wow, I mean, as trample, so what? 4 turns later, you've lost the game. This is modern, okay? You've already lost 4 turns from now. You get nothing. You just flushed 1 green mana down the toilet. Or you brought this out for free somehow, and now everybody's pissed because that's bullshit. Those are your 2 options with these garbage suspend cards. Wizards, you can suspend these nuts, okay? Nobody wanted this stupid effect back. This keyword sucks. It is inherently broken, and the set that it was in was like, oh, remove a suspend or time counter, whatever the hell it was, from a permanent, and now you can speed it up or add one, and it was like a whole thing. Like, it was a whole thing. Now you take it out of context and mix it with cards that it was never play tested with. Broken as hell. Just inherently broken at a basic level. Anyway, moving on, we got Hall of Heliod's Generosity because everybody loved, what the hell was this, Theros? Yeah, Theros. So this is a legendary land and comes in untapped, nice, and then you can tap it and add 1 colorless. I keep wanting to say generic because that's what you have to call it when it's a cost, but when you generate it, it's colorless, even though it's the same damn thing, basically. Minus Oath of the Gatewatch, it's the same damn thing. So you pay 1 generic and a white, tap it, and put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. So it can make certain obnoxious cards never go away. You're going to waste your next draw, though, so, I mean, there's that. But yeah, this would be good for, like, a god card, especially. There are some decks that I know right off the bat would absolutely run this. The problem is the ability's white, and this land doesn't generate any color, so a little bit of an issue. Next up, oh, go to another Sliver! Bladeback Sliver, Hellbent. As long as you have no cards at hand, slivers you control have this creature deals, or tap, this creature deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. You get more mileage out of swinging. Finally, an unplayable Sliver. I mean, yeah, the damage is unblockable and you can just finish somebody off, but it's still bad. Next up, Enduring Sliver. Yay. It's a 2/2 for 2, Outlast 2. Oh, here we go. But, wait, you pay 2, tap it, put a 1/1 counter on this creature, Outlast only as a sorcery. Other Sliver creatures you control have Outlast 2. Cool. Too slow leaves you too undefended. This is garbage. Next up, Valiant Changeling. Oh boy, another Changeling. Yeah, great. It's a 3/3 for 7. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature type among creatures you control. Wait a minute. Well, what if you have another Changeling in play? I mean, its actual type is Changeling, but it's also all types that exist, which is probably in the hundreds. So if you have another Changeling that's just right off the bat cost 2, is that what they're saying? Because even then, a 3/3 for 2 isn't that good. Obviously, this has Changeling. It does say this effect can't reduce the amount of mana this spell costs by more than 5. I think they put that little reminder on there because it works exactly like I just said, and it has double strike. That is pretty damn powerful, I'm not gonna lie. So the fact that this is a sliver on top of it, and it has double strike, and then it gains all the abilities that the other slivers grant it, this is pretty messed up. And if this is the second Changeling to come into play, it costs 2. Otherwise, it's virtually unplayable. I mean, oh, I've got a sliver and an elf. Well, now this costs 5. I mean, a 5 cost 3/3 double striker is a little much. So next up, yay, another Changeling, woohoo, Webweaver Changeling, yay, it's a 3/5 for 5 Changeling, yay, reach, great. When it enters the battlefield, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you gain 5 life. Cool. So since this is also a sliver, it'll have reach and double strike and lifelink and death touch and unblockable and annihilator 50. I don't know, I hate slivers. Next up, the bitch that just won't go away, Kaya. She's now got Kaya's Guile. She's gonna be in every set, I swear. We get it, Wizard. She's a black female. Stop shoving it in our faces. In fact, let's just assume she's a lesbian too, because this is Wizards we're talking about. So anyway, you pay 3, instant, choose 2. Oh, wonderful. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. And then exile all cards from each opponent's graveyard. Okay. Create a 1/1 white and black spirit token with flying, or you gain 4 life. I don't believe you can choose the same one twice because it would have to specify that. And then entwine 3, choose all if you pay the entwine cost. Pretty flexible, pretty interesting, pretty universal. I mean, oh, you want one of their creatures gone and you like your life total to be higher. Throw it in your deck. The one spirit is dumb, but if you're playing spirits, okay, cool. Or if you just need a flyer for some reason, okay, whatever. I don't know, like it's a decent card. I'm just sick of seeing her. Next up, Goblin Oriflamme, which is also in English apparently. You know, despite that almost definitely being French. So it's a 2-cost enchantment, attacking creatures you control get +1. I'm sorry, what? Okay, guys, let's play my favorite game. How many things can they f up on a card simultaneously? Are you ready to play along at home? Okay, 1, doesn't cost double red. 2, doesn't say legendary enchantment. 3, doesn't say only red creatures. 4, doesn't say only goblins. 5, it isn't an activated ability. 6, they didn't print it in the rare mythic slot. And 7, I legitimately, after minutes of looking at this, can't figure out what the hell that artwork even is. On 8, they made it only creatures you control. Because if they made it all creatures in play, I'd be like, oh, okay, I get it. 8 ups on 1 card. That is amazing. That has to be a new record. I don't even know how to put into words what they could have possibly been thinking when designing this card. It's so overpowered and so disgustingly broken. I don't even know. Let's just move on. This is ridiculous. Yeah, just double the output of your token's deck's total attack power for 2 with no restrictions. F you, Wizards. Oh, make that 9. It's creatures, not non-token creatures. Anyway, let's move on before I run out of fingers to count with. It's Nantuko Cultivator. Oh boy, it's a 4-cost 2/2 stupid insect thing. I hate Nantukos. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard any number of land cards, put that many 1/1 counters on Nantuko Cultivator, and draw that many cards. Oh, and then I get it. Then you have graveyard synergy with lands. Cool. Yeah, this is green. You probably needed them. What a dumb card. Next up, Ingenious Infiltrator. It's a 2/3 for 4. And it's a Demir/Kamigawa crossover episode. And it has the absolutely useless ability Ninjutsu, which now costs 2 colors on this one to make it even more useless. And whenever a ninja you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Well, at least that applies as a field ability to all ninjas. So, I mean, whatever. You're going to need a lot more cards if you're spending 4 mana on something that hits for 2. Yeah, you will need those cards. I really thought this set couldn't get any worse or more broken, but wow, that red enchantment, that's amazing. I mean, there is no precedent for a card that even resembles this. The closest that I could get in red, in modern, in enchantments is Shared Animosity. And the distance between 2-cost and 3-cost in a red speed damage deck is a lot. Shared Animosity, by the way, whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1 attack until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. I mean, clear as day, obviously way worse, but they printed this at the correct rarity. They didn't make it legendary, okay. But it costs 3, which means you're not dropping in another goblin. So, I mean, this is worse, but it's also 3. This is probably equal to it in the broken scale. And FYI, $9 card. Well, hopefully goblins or red creature rush don't take over all of Modern, but I mean, that card might single-handedly do it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to be uploading something absolutely insane either later today or tomorrow, so make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss it. All I'm going to tell you is it's a video that somehow involves a $5,000 card. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.